Hello, hello, my handsome ladies and gentlemen. This is Shmeaty, and for the final day of the season, I decided to do something a little fun. We're gonna run Shadow Dragonite, Shadow Sableye, and Shadow Empoleon on the same team. And yes, I am ABA weak to Charm. I kept in a very special battle for that reason. However, it's the end of the season. Let's have a little fun with it. And let's see what this team can do versus the Open Great League. Not gonna keep you guys too long. Let's get into the matches. Alright, first game I ever lock in with the team, and it's going to be Shadow Dragonite into Shadow Alola Ninetales. We are ABA to Charm, so I'm going to bring in Empoleon immediately. They bring in a Lantern, and I immediately quit the match. Okay, first game I actually decided to play out. It's going to be Shadow Dragonite into Shadow Swampert. Couldn't get much worse for the opponent, but they're going to bring in a Medicham. Little do they know, we have a Sableye to catch this Ice Punch on 6. And we just have a strict advantage here. I can either decide to deny all their energy with this foul play, or I could have one shielded and farmed all the way down. Either play would have been okay. They're going to overfarm too much with the Swampert, and I'm going to make another foul play, so they're going to have to commit a shield here, and that's fine. They are also going to have to commit energy onto the Sableye, and its job's already done. I've won Switch, I've won Shields, and now we're just going to put our Dragonite on the Swampert, come in immediately, Dragon Claw, and they CMP'd, so this is going to be a Hydro Cannon. Shadow on Shadow in the Great League, this is going to hit like a truck. And in the back they have a Registeel, but my Empoleon has a 2 shield advantage, so there's not much this Registeel can do. We're going to reach Hydro Cannon number 1, and it's actually on CMP to the Focus Blast. They don't even throw the Zap Cannon. They're just looking to try to get moves off as quickly as possible, but it's not to be. We outpaced before they make another one, and we Hydro Cannon the Registeel to death. And at this point, I don't know what the opponent did here. I think they may have put their phone on the floor and started crying because they just stopped tapping their screen. GG's. Alright, not sure to call this game 2 or game 3, but nevertheless, Dragonite finds its younger cousin Dragonair. And this is actually very important. I decided to leave this in for a reason, and that's because this Dragonair actually misplays this matchup. We get to the moves at the same time, and they could have farmed me down and lived another Dragon Breath without throwing energy here if their play was to shield, but now they just go down a shield for no reason at all. I'm going to bring in Sableye here, trying to get some farm. Sableye energy is always useful, has some really nice coverage, even as a Shadow. And they're going to bring in a Lantern. Could not be happier with their decision here. They're making my life a whole lot easier because my Empoleon wants absolutely nothing to do with this Lantern. Lantern's going to fire off a move. I am going to have to commit shield after shield in this matchup, but that's okay because we were able to grab a shield with our Dragonite that realistically we had no business getting. Nevertheless, we're just going to fire off a foul play. They actually decide to let the Lantern go, and it's going to be a Lickitung on my Empoleon, but that's fine. I'm building up to the Hydro Cannon. I know I'm going to get it before they get the Power Whip. Hydro Cannon goes through. Moment of truth. Are they going to Power Whip me? I'm going to say no. It's a Body Slam, and this trainer wants nothing more to do with this match. GG's. Alright, next game, and it's going to be Shadow Dragonite into another Swampert. This is the season of much better Mud Boys than Swampert, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but nevertheless, they're going to stay in and play this out for a little bit, fire off a Hydro Cannon on 5, and questionable decision there, because that's not even going to get this close to a winning matchup for the Swampert. They are still going to lose very handily, so I throw the Dragon Claw just before they get to another Hydro Cannon so they can't catch, and they bring in a Skarmory. So this is perfectly fine, just going to fire off a Superpower here, hoping to get KO'd by that last Steel Wing. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So they get one more Steel Wing, and I'm just going to bring in my own Steel Wing user in my Empoleon. They bring in a Sableye, and with an energy advantage, I don't want to bring in mine. I want to get shields off of this Sableye, ideally. So I throw one Hydro Cannon, get the shield. The Sableye's already at about 50% health just off of the Steel Wing damage alone. We're going to fire off another Hydro Cannon here, see their reaction, and they're most likely going to commit a shield, as Skarmory wants nothing to do with this Empoleon up energy. They shield twice, and I now have shields for my Empoleon. I have a shield advantage. I'm just going to bring in my Sableye, let them throw as much energy as they want, and they bring back in the Skarmory, but the Skarmory just does not have enough energy. firing off the move. I'm going to reach the Hydra Cannon here, and that's the second top left in a row. GG's. Okay, that was just the calm before the storm. In game number 4, it's going to be Shadow Dragonite versus a Shadow Magnezone. This is a huge core breaker for this team. However, Dragon Breath damage does add up as they just get to a move. They're at 50% health already. I'm going to call this. It's a mirror shot. That's beautiful for me. I'm going to fire off the superpowers. There's no reason for me not to. I can at least grab a shield from this Magnezone after getting it down to about 50% health. Here, I don't know what to do, so I'm actually just going to bring in Empoleon, and they're going to fire off what's most likely a Wild Charge. They do Wild Charge, and they're going to switch so they don't get farmed down. They bring in a Mandibuzz, and this is actually a much better matchup for my Empoleon than it would be for my Sableye in the back. So, really happy to see this here. They're going to fire off a move. I'm going to have to commit a shield on the Empoleon as I'm starting to view it as my win con in this game. Another Hydra Cannon onto the Mandibuzz should pressure a shield, and it does. We get the shield, and we get the catch of the Dark Pulse onto the Sableye. This is going to do about 50% health to the Sableye. We are quite low, however, we're reaching for that foul play. They make a move, but it's only an Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace not going to be enough to KO. I'm trying to farm down the Mandibuzz. I decide against it. I know I'm going to get farmed down myself if I try, so I just settle for this foul play that I know is going to KO. Give a little bit of Shadow Claw damage on this Magnezone, and they bring in a Gligar. This is an instant lose con. Hydra Cannon here is going to KO the Gligar in one shot, even non-Shadow, and I have a second Hydra Cannon for the Magnezone. GG's. Final game of the video, and it's going to be Shadow Dragonite versus Annihilate. This is a very nice lead. I'm willing to play it out. Opponent has a different idea, and they're going to bring in a Dugong. I'm going to counter switch my Sableye. However, Sableye is so glassy, I am not willing to take this Icy Wind here, so I'm going to put up a shield and build up to the Power Gem. Fire off the Power Gem, as baiting a Dugong in this situation is a very bad idea. However, they do commit the shield, and now I don't really have a whole lot of use left for my Sableye, so I'm just going to let this Icy Wind through, reaching for the foul play, but I get farmed down in the process. However, I do have my Empoleon. I'm going for the farm down. They do reach a move. Are they going to Drill Run? No, they're not. They're going to Icy Wind, get your bait called, loser, and we're going to farm all the way down. Leaving with 2 moves for the Annihilate is a very good situation for me. I'm going to fire off Drill Peck number 1, 1 Steel Wing, Drill Peck number 2. In order to keep this Annihilate alive, they are going to have to shield. They do commit the shield. I switch in my Dragonite immediately, but they switch in a Bastiodon in the back, and I make a game-losing play. I could have potentially fired off the superpower earlier and gotten the KO, but they countered down my Dragonite before I make a move, and they counter down my Empoleon before I make a move. GG's. The last game ending on a Simul just didn't feel right, plus these battles were going by so fast that I decided to throw in one bonus battle here. So in this last battle, Shadow Dragonite's going to find a Mantine on lead, and I'm comfortable with staying in for a little bit here, because if they throw before 7, I know that they're not building up to an Ice Beam, and here they only threw 6 wing attacks, so I know this can't be an Ice Beam. I know I can live in Aerial Ace. Dragonite's glassy, but not quite that glassy. We're going to fire off a Dragon Claw here and get a shield for the Mantine. That is so big. We're reaching for that last second Dragon Claw, and we get it on the last possible second. Firing off this Dragon Claw, that wing attack's about to KO, and we get both shields from a Mantine. That is incredibly good for us. And we bring in an Empoleon, which completely walls everything Mantine can possibly throw. They bring in an Annihilate, aggressively pivoting in, and we're going to bring in our Sableye. We have the perfect response to an Annihilate in a Shadow Sableye. Before they're able to reach the Shadow Ball, we get a foul play that'll KO, and in the back, it is a Swalot. Who's going to tell this poor trainer? Who's going to tell him everything Swalot can throw into an Empoleon is double resisted? Sludge Bomb, double resisted because of the Steel typing. Ice Beam, double resisted because of the water and steel typing. We are in such a good position here. We even make a last second foul play, but at this point we just aggressively switch in the Empoleon. We have 2 shields. The opposing trainer knows they can't win, and they top left. GG's. If you made it to this part of the video, thanks so much for watching. Your support really drives me to create more content, and I finally was able to make 2 videos in a week, so I'm kind of proud about that. All that being said, we've reached the end of the season, so important to note, even in the beginning of the season, end of the season, mid-season, always just have fun. Don't stress too much about the game. I see a lot of people that get really stressed about elo and stuff like that. And of course, it may be easier for some people to say than others. I understand that, but always prioritize having fun. The new season should be starting at about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. It's about 5 hours from me recording this, maybe about 4 hours from this video going live. So, that being said, very important to note. I suppose you can consider this to be a little bit of a PSA, but do not forget, at the turn of the season at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, or whatever that is, translated into your local time zone, do not forget to turn on a star piece when you enter Go Battle League for the first time in the new season, as you will get boosted Stardust for the end of season Stardust rewards, which is usually the largest lump sum of Stardust that you'll get at any point. I've seen people lose out on hundreds of thousands of Stardust by not doing this, so just make sure that you pop that star piece at the turn of the new season. That being said, if you liked today's video, please feel free to leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. At the turn of the new season, there's going to be a whole lot more content coming out because you can have so much fun with all the early season shenanigans. I'm so excited for it. Hope to see you guys in the new season of Shared Skies in the Go Battle League. This has been Shmeaty. Have a good rest of your day.